My new book is called Embrace Your Weird, Face Your Fears and Unleash Creativity. And I wrote it because I wrote a memoir a couple years ago called You're Never Weird on the Internet Almost. And so many people came up to me and told me that they loved what I've done with my creativity, and it made them be more creative, and it also encouraged people to get help for their anxiety and depression, which is something I'm super passionate about helping people with. So I was like, let's do another book. So this book is kind of takes all that stuff and gives it to the reader. So it's a funny, kind of geeky self-help book that is interactive. So as you go through the book, I'll talk about something, and then there'll be an exercise, like a funny exercise with graphics or just something to write down to kind of like really channel whatever I was talking about. I just really feel like helping people get over kind of some of the blocks that I've had in my life is something that I find really gratifying. They say that when you help other people, it activates a certain part in your brain that kind of gets you over some hard times. So whenever I'm feeling down about myself, I'm like, who can I help? And it really gets me through. So for this book, I really just wanted to make a permanent version of all the advice that I've given people I've mentored, friends over the years, and put it in one book that will last, hopefully, my lifetime and other beyond. So the book has lots of different drawing prompts and all sorts of like writing prompts and things like that, and I've gotten so much feedback from the book. A lot of people at first, they were like, oh my God, I have to write in a book. They were like, I'm out, peace out. But people have really kind of ripped the Band-Aid off and ripped the page apart, just like I've encouraged them. There's, I encourage people to draw in it, draw terrible horses, like a T-Rex comes in and like attacks you. Like they're all fun, playful sort of exercises to get you out of your head and into your creativity. And I have been linked a lot of really awesome stuff. I'm not a professional artist at all, so when I see somebody draw like a real-to-life Tyrannosaurus Rex, I'm like, oh my God, you're magic. So yeah, I've been getting a lot of feedback, and hopefully I get more and more and more. I was homeschooled, so I was always kind of taught to be proud of who I was. When I was a kid, I wasn't really bullied or rejected for liking things that weren't necessarily things that people would think I should like, especially as a girl. And going into college really early, I went at 16, people really didn't reject me for kind of being an oddball or a weirdo or being into video games or classical music or math or whatever. So it wasn't until I got to Hollywood that I was like, oh gosh, people don't really understand me and they don't get me, and I don't know if I fit in here. And I kind of got beaten down and I got depressed. And I went through a really low period in my life where I felt like I wish I could change everything about myself, which was the first time in my life I'd really experienced that. And it felt very wrong. So when I was able to get through that and start writing my own stuff and channeling my own voice into the world and like really standing up for myself and saying, hey, yeah, I'm not really your standard Hollywood looker, and I talk a little bit strangely, and I'm really into things that you guys don't accept as mainstream, but this is me and I'm proud of it. And when I started doing that, people really, I started being a lot more fulfilled. And I found success through that, but that really isn't the point. So that's why I really wanted to put in the book that the things that make you different are your superpowers in a sense. Nobody ever shared a video because 8 million people, made a video just like it. They share it because it's surprising and it makes you feel something different. And so you can only get to that by really putting who you are forward and being proud of who you are. So I would say that I've been successful just in the last couple of years about really being proud of who I am. It's taken me a long time, and hopefully this book will shortcut that for a lot of people. My history of writing is, I've written a lot of things in my time. I wrote the Guild for 6 years. I've written a lot of other projects with my old company, Geek and Sundry. And I wrote my memoir a couple years ago and this book. So my future plans are definitely really focused on writing and producing the things that I write. I'm writing one project that will be out next year that I can't talk about. And I have other ideas about having, writing things maybe in the podcasting format, or other screenplays, and maybe a novel. So I certainly have a lot of really exciting plans. And because I wrote this book, I'm actually a little bit more brave about jumping into them and getting them done. Can we see more Con Man? I love that show. I really did. Alan wrote and directed it. It was really his like piece de resistance. It was like he was an auteur in a sense because he wrote and directed and really micromanaged all of it in an amazing way. I was so blessed to be a part of the cast, and I wish he would make more. It's kind of like I wish I could make more Guild. Web video is kind of in a very depressed state right now. You really can't see anything but live streaming being anything successful at all. I love live streaming. I used to have a lot of it in my company that I started, and I still do it a little bit every week just on Twitch for myself. But a professionally produced video is really hard to make right now, and I know Alan's on 4 TV shows, and you know, Hollywood can be very seductive. So I can only cross my fingers.